According to God, the white man is the devil.
See, I've been in here for a little minute. You know what I'm saying? And I see niggas, they like to talk a lot. They like to claim leadership. They like to claim this and that. You know what I'm saying? They like to be above what they really is and have authority. But they don't really need that authority. They don't really know what to do with that leadership. You understand? You hold hands with this boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. See, everybody ain't with all that peace talk. Everybody ain't with all that bygone. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to prophets. My nigga serious. When they hit us with dope and kill us with crack, where the fuck with your leaders? I'm curious. He cashed out on your blood, traded you in and bought a new biz. Ask you the prophets, I tell you the scheme. If you don't wake up, you gon' die in your dreams. I say you won't tell you no more. I swear these crackers try to kill us slow. Just spoke to a nigga and fed it up on parole because of the COVID. It feel like the host in this world that don't go together. Nowhere is gold in the ghetto. I'm in the city blazing with my niggas. Just told the devil the score never settled. See the prophets. I'm tired of these niggas keep talking about, you know, you respect my religion, I respect your religion. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the prophets. You know, like we all come together. Cause you know, they say God so loved the world. God so loved the world to know. Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you the prophets. Give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up to serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Yeah. Hey, gentlemen, we don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up. You know what I'm saying? Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to prophets. Step I'm silent for show to the fake niggas. Stay silent, I got it, let's go. Let's go. I ain't taking no losses. Ain't no talking when we got the flow. Ain't no peace, just play with your own. I'ma be low to the right arm. Tell them we can't keep it slate. And I can never let bygone be bygone. Got your baby mother on high. Got your baby pants through the fire. Ask you the prophets. That baby soul belong to the Lord. How dare you abort it? Devil will fail you, bitch, I can afford it. I prepare slaughter, you bring me my water. Push your leaders weak, let them lies slip through their teeth. Their ass need to stop and ask you the prophets.
That's just the reality, Christians. I'm sorry to hurt your feelings. I know your pastor lied to you every Sunday for 30 years, but that's what the church is for. Lying. That's why they exist, to lie the money out of your pockets.
Boy, your ass need to stop and ask you to give a damn what you talk about. Don't give a fuck what you believe, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. We don't pray on our knees, nigga. Gotta stand up and serve my God. We don't pray on our knees, nigga.
Shalom, Israel. We're the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge. Started at 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, under the Commandant General Yohana. This is Isupk Austin Tuesday Brotherhood class. Brotherhood and sisterhood is a weapon. Brotherhood and sisterhood is the weapon that we need so we can all come together and rise up out of this hell. Okay? Us coming together, blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, that's what is needed, all right, throughout this earth. All right. We need to come together and show absolute brotherhood and sisterhood. All right, because without that, we don't have anything. Okay. All right, like I said, it's Isupk Austin Tuesday Brotherhood class. And today we're going to be getting into how women run Christianity. That lady in the front with that big hat, that old lady, she makes a lot of decisions in there. She gets her way all of the time. So we got to get complete understanding and understand how the Lord set up a structure. Okay. And with that structure, that's how we are supposed to govern everything. All right. And when and we're not saying that our women ain't important. Our women are Israelites as well, right? Not just the men. We can't just have only us, right? But the teaching is reserved for the men. The speaking up, the leading of the nation, that is for the men to do. It isn't for the women. That's not their job. Okay. Their job is to be mothers, okay? To be those nurturers. We all need that, but we also need that father, okay? That father is what brings that discipline to the household. Without that father, you run around and you do everything. Most of the people out there in gangs that do it all kind of wicked and evil, well, they're growing up in single parent homes, and guess who that single parent is? That single parent is the mother. So we got to understand as so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, there's a reason that they want to take your father out of the home. It's because who could take over a strong man's house unless first you bind that strong man? And that's what they do. That's what our oppressor does to so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. They bind our strong men. How do they bind our strong men? They bind us in the prison system, right? They bind us with drugs. They bind us with poverty. So we go out and commit these crimes. So once we get a full understanding of this, then we know that it's important for us to be there. But our women, they make these deals with our oppressor. That says what? It says, yeah, you kick that black man out your house, and we'll give you food stamps, we'll give you TANF, we'll give you money, we'll give you a Section 8, a place to live, we'll give you a phone, we'll be your man. And the reason that our women don't have no problem kicking us out of the house is because of Christianity. All right. If our women don't get our way, your clothes are be in a glad bag sitting outside the door. And since we know that, we got to understand that this is all happening for a reason. It's because Christianity and women run Christianity. They don't need a man in their house because the oppressor will be their man and take care of every needs. And who else do they think is their man? They think Jesus and they think them and Jesus is together. Okay. So once we understand that, then we'll know how to move. We'll know why these things are put in place. Because everything is put in place to demasculate the black man. Okay. Let me highlight your Hydra. I know you see Christianity make us become selfish. That's all it teaches us. Is about what we feel, right? Because all Christians say what? Not my Jesus. Well, I believe. Well, God knows my, and then that makes all the rules null and void. Because if God only cares about what I care about, that means I can do whatever the hell I want. And that's what Christianity teaches you. It teaches you can do whatever the hell you want because the laws are done away with. So if there is no law, then there's nothing that you have to follow. Okay? And since they getting rid of the law, what are they? They are venturing into what? They are venturing into women ruling. Okay? The pastor's wife, she has all kind of charge. They usually the pastor's wife is starting off the service when she should be sitting down learning. Okay, she has her position in life. This is not her position. Okay, and we don't understand this, so we are going off of their emotions. We are letting their emotions run and drive and guide us through our whole life, and they have the final say. Like the big mama in the family, that's a matriarchal system, right? Big mama, she's the one who lays the law, who tells everybody what it is and what it isn't. Okay, so we got to understand that the Lord he chose us so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Okay, he chose us to be a special people unto himself, above all people. But your Christian church is going to tell you that everybody is equal, that everybody's in this together, when everybody's not in this together. Okay? All right, let's get let me get Hosea 4 and 6 because there's a reason we don't understand this. There's a reason we don't understand like our place and our roles as men and as women. All right, it's only for one reason. Let me let me share my screen. All right, Trooper, you can get that.
Come on, come on. It's the book of Hosea, chapter 4, verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge.
My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. That's why we don't have no understanding because we lack knowledge. Knowledge is something that is good. Knowledge is something that is excellent. Knowledge is something that would have you striving instead of failing at everything. Okay? But our people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. And that's why we put our women first. That's why our women run everything. Okay? We put them first. That's because we put Christianity first. Okay? We look at everything else and we say, "Oh, I'm a good Christian." All right. When somebody is laying when somebody is laying in a casket, what are you doing? You praising them. You saying that they going to heaven, no matter how many drugs they sold, no matter how many people they unalived, no matter what they did on this earth. Okay, that's because we're destroyed for a lack of knowledge, and that knowledge is these laws, statutes, and commandments. All right, continue.
Come on, come on. Because thou hast rejected knowledge, I will
Hmm.
also reject thee.
All right, and that's why we don't have no knowledge. Since we rejected the knowledge, the Lord also rejected us, and since He rejected us, we are under another nation. Our oppressor, he can only win because what? Because we reject the knowledge of the Lord our God. If we had the knowledge of the Lord our God, then we wouldn't have the problems that we have because we would know we're supposed to keep the law, statutes, and commandments. We would know how to be a brother and a sister to each other. We would know how we were supposed to move. We would know what we were supposed to eat. Okay? But we don't have that because the Lord rejected us. Continue reading.
Come on, come on. That thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God.
Mhm.
I will also forget thy children.
This says, "Thou shalt be no priest to me." We didn't have no priest in this earth for a long time. Okay, but through the spirit through the Lord, we was able to what? We got priests and prophets in this earth right now, right here in the Israelite School of UPK. Okay, and you got to think from 70 A.D. until 1969, there wasn't no priest because what happened? Our empire got sacked. All right, being under the captivity. All right. Then it says that seeing that thou hast forgotten the law of thy God, I will also forget thee children. All right. So we forgot the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. And he did forget the children, thy children. And how do we know that? We know that because I wasn't born in this truth. This is something that I had to find. Okay. If we were if the children wasn't forgotten, if we wasn't rejected by the Most High, we would all come up in here. We would all come up under this, but we do not because we were forgotten because we have forgotten the laws of the Lord, and the reason we forgotten the laws of the Lord is because Christianity. All right, and that's why we have to live by the structure that the Most High gave, that He presented. All right, everything that He present is for our well being. Okay, everything He presents is for a structure, for a purpose. Okay, Um, give me. Damn, where is it? Yeah, let me get that. 1 Corinthians 11:3,
Come.
because we got to understand, like there, uh, um, a woman shouldn't be running, be leading the men. They shouldn't be out here teaching men this Bible, okay? Because there is a structure, there is a rank and order, all right? There is a head, there is a setup for everything. Just like we can't go out there and just do whatever the woman does, because it's not our job, all right? We wasn't built for that. They can't go out there and just do what we do, okay? Go ahead and read that, Trooper Yaqua.
Come. The book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man.
You hear that? It says, but I have you know that the head of every man is Christ. So if you're a man walking this earth, you so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, your head is Christ. That is your head. That is who is over you. All right. It says, in the head of the woman is man, not the other way around. Your woman is not supposed to lead you. There are men. We have our men sitting in a house, living a life, doing everything they wife say. Because what is the phrase? Happy wife, happy life. We hear that so many times. Okay, and we start to believe it. So we'll start to cater. And since we're catering to our women right now at this time in 2023, they have absolutely no rules. They could go out and do whatever they want because what Amber Rose say to them? There's no slut shaming. Okay, what Megan Thee Stallion said? Oh, it's a hot girl summer. So they're able to do whatever they want, and we're not allowed to judge them. That's how they have made it for us, because they have made the woman the head. Okay, she gets the last say, and all she's doing is going off of her emotions. All right, she's going off of her emotions, making decisions. And how do we know that? Because what happens when your woman gets mad at you? She's putting your clothes in a glad bag, all right, and she's setting them on the porch. And in 2 hours, and if you get your clothes and you leave and you go to your homeboy's house, what is happening to your phone? Your phone is blowing up, okay? It's blowing up nonstop because what? She just wants you to come back because she was just mad. She was just emotional at that time. And that's why they're not meant to lead, because you can't let your emotions control you. You can't just do something because you're mad, because you're sad, because you're angry. That isn't how it works. Continue reading.
Come. It's like, and the head of Christ is God.
And the head of Christ is God. Okay? So Christ has a head as well. I know Christians like to believe that Christ is God, but it just said right there, what? What did it say?
And the head of Christ is God.
So is the head of Christ himself Christians, since y'all think Christ is God? No. All right? Because there is rank and there is order. There is a way that has been set up and placed before us. All right? And it's not for the women to give me Ezekiel. Let's just go there.
Come.
Ezekiel, the 34th chapter, start at verse 31.
All right.
Go ahead.
It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 34, verse 31. And ye my flock, the flock of my pasture, and are men.
Are women.
are men.
They are men. It says, "And ye, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men." Okay? These are who are going to go out in the earth and teach. These are who are going to be the leaders in your community. This is who's going to govern the earth. Okay? Men. All right? And women are very important. I don't want the women to hear this and just think that they are not. No, women are highly important, but they have a role. And see, that's what we need to understand, that this whole feminist movement, all this nonsense, what does it bring? It brings in what? It brings in you believing that you believing that 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 Slovakia. Let me re-say that. All right. When we don't have an understanding of how things are supposed to be, that's when we start letting all of this nonsense in. So we let the feminist movement come in and say that women can do anything a man can do. Okay, and we know that that is not logically even possible because we have different makeups. So since we have a different makeup, how is it possible that we were meant to do the same things? We're not. Okay, so we got to understand that the Lord, the people who teach the Bible, who bring up the scriptures, are are men, and that's because the Lord is a man of war. You see, we don't send our women to war. You know, like the oppressor, he'll send anybody to war. He doesn't give a damn how young, whatever. He doesn't care, male or female. You're going. But that's not the way it should be because our women shouldn't be out there fighting a war. That's what our men. That's what our men do. Okay, give me Isaiah 3:12.
Okay.
Go ahead when you got it.
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 3, verse 12.
Mm-hmm.
As for my people, children are their
Hold on,
oppressors.
hold on. Let's take this slow. As for my people, that's possessive. The Lord is saying He has a people. As for the Lord's people, as for so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Okay, continue.
Okay. Children are their oppressors,
Mm-hmm.
and women rule over them. Oh,
You
my
see,
people. It's like,
you see. Hold on. You see, children are their oppressors, and the women rule over it. Like so, even with that, if you look at it this way, like people always want to just live for their kids. Oh, but I just love them so much. You're oppressed by them doing everything that your kid wants. Your kid runs the whole damn household. Okay, all right. And it says, and women rule over them. Our women are ruling the household. You know, that's why the women will bring the kid a plate first. Oh no, my kids eat first. Oh no, no nobody comes before my kid. Not understanding that you doing something, you keeping the structure of the Most High. That's not somebody coming before your kid. If you make this man who's going to protect your house a plate first, that's not turning your back on your child. That's not doing your child a disservice. Okay, it's keeping the structure in the order. See, that's what we don't have in so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. We don't have any structure or order. We have whatever Mama says. Okay, it says, "As for my people, the children are their oppressor, and women rule over them." Because our women are running the household. They're running the bank account. They're running the grocery list. They're running the schools you go to. They're running the church you go to. They're running the fake Israelite group you go to. Okay? They running where you're going to dinner. They running what programs you're watching on TV. They running who you call on your cell phone. Oh, I don't have to tell you that, right? Your woman checks your phone. And she better not see no numbers that she do not recognize. You better not get a spam likely, because she is going to investigate that and make sure it's that insurance that you didn't pay. She's going to make sure that person calling is calling about that insurance bill that you didn't pay. Okay. Oh, that text better be a promotion text. Because what happens when your phone rings? She's looking at it with you. It might as well be her damn phone. Okay. Because they're running everything. There is no law for our women. In our community, our women are granted to do whatever they want. They can be the biggest whore, and you have to respect it. Don't you know, like our Isupk brothers and sisters, like if you mess around and you put yourself out there sleeping around with men, or you have a baby out of wedlock, they don't want to do that because they know no man is going to want to marry them. Okay, that's the problem. That has been removed. All that has been removed, and now we like the stripper. We like the promiscuous woman. Now we love that. Okay, and we're destroyed because women are in rulership. Women rule us. Oh, some women, what are they ruling with? They're ruling with that phone in their hand. And 3 numbers, 911. Oh, they rule the house with that. Because you already went upside her head once. Now you don't have to do anything. She can just call and you go into jail. Our women rule us, okay? And they rule us because of Christianity. They rule us because our oppressor gave them an out. Our oppressor was stepping on us and said, you could step on them with us, and we'll put you higher than them. That's why you be out there and what? You might see your sister. She might be running off at the mouth on a brother and slap him a few times. And there's nothing he could do about it. Because the power that they have gotten from our oppressor, it is relentless. It is vast and exhaustive. They can go so far. And there's absolutely nothing you can do. That's why here in the Israelite School of UPK, we teach you how to be a man, how to humble your woman, how to make it so you don't have to deal with that at all. Go ahead and finish that out.
Con. It's like it, sir. O my people, they which lead because thee to err and destroy the way of thy paths.
And see, since we following an order that is not of the Most High, all right, it leads us to error. That's why there's so many errors in our community. That's why there's so many of us in prison, so many of us strung out on drugs, so many of us in gangs, because we are led to err, and it destroys the way of our paths. We are destroyed. We are destroyed for that lack of knowledge. All right. Without the knowledge of the Most High, without these laws, statutes, and commandments, we don't have anything. Okay? Let me get 1 Corinthians 14 and 34.
Come on. You read it?
Yeah, you can read it when you got it. This thing's just kind of lagging to bring it up, but
Okay. It's the book of First Corinthians, chapter 14, verse 34. Let your women speak. Sorry, let your women keep silence in the churches.
no, let them
For
be loud.
let your women keep silence in the churches.
No, let them run the congregation.
Let your women keep silence in the churches.
Let your women keep silent in the churches. Okay? That's what she's supposed to be doing. She's supposed to be sitting there humble, in silence, learning, paying attention. Okay? Continue reading.
Con. For it is not permitted unto them to speak.
For it is not permitted unto them to speak. Okay? They're supposed to be sitting there in silence, learning, being humble. All right? Does that mean they can't ever open their damn mouth? No. Okay? They're gonna be talking. They might be telling the kids something. They might say something to you. Okay? But they're not up there speaking and leading the congregation. They're not up there speaking and teaching and leading men and leading a nation. That's not what they're doing. All right? And this is in the churches. This ain't for everything. A woman might be the baddest speaker at her job, but she up there speaking and teaching men the business all day. There ain't nothing wrong with that. It's in this setting, okay? You can go be great and speak and talk and do all of that at your job, with your children, with your girlfriends, all that. But right here in this place, in these schools, that's not permitted. Okay, it says for it's not permitted unto them to speak. It's not permitted for you to go up there and give breakdowns and give lessons and all that. Continue reading.
Con. But they are commanded to be under obedience, as said the law.
Under obedience, as says the law. Are we in the New or Old Testament?
The new.
We are in the New. And what does it say right there?
It's like I said.
To be under obedience.
Con. But they are commanded to be under obedience, as also said the law.
As also said the law. This is referring to the law, statutes, and commandments, right here in the New Testament. Why do they say that the laws are done away with? When you were getting commandments, laws, statutes, and that's why we get the judgments that we get. Okay? Continue reading.
Con. Verse 35. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands at home, for it is a shame for.
Hold on.
Like,
Hold on. And if they will learn anything, let them ask their husbands. If you have a husband, that's who you could go to for the breakdowns. If he don't got it, he can get the answer. You know what I mean? You go to your husband. That's who you're supposed to learn from because that's your head. We already read that in 1 Corinthians 11:3. Continue.
Con. For it is a shame for women to speak in the church.
For it's a shame for women to speak in the church. Meaning teach in the church. Meaning leading a congregation. Meaning running a nation. All right? And see, this is where we're confused because we think the church is just us and all these different nations, all these different demographics coming together and being one. No. This Bible is about a nation. This Bible is about a people, the so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Okay? Let me get Yaganan, you give me Genesis 3:16. Let me get there real quick. Go ahead.
Book of Genesis, chapter 3, and verse 16. And to the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception.
Mm-hmm.
Sorrow thou shalt bring forth children,
Uh-huh.
and thy desire shall be to thy husband,
Yep.
and he shall rule over thee.
No, she should rule over you.
He shall rule over thee.
She should control the household.
He shall rule over thee.
It says that he shall rule over thee. It's structure. Okay? It see that's the problem, that the pride. Our women have so much pride that they've been taught they don't need a man for anything. So they damn sure don't want a man to rule over them. But it says, and their desire shall be to thy husband. Women's desire shall be to the husband. It do be to the husband. But they also have that desire to rule over him when he is supposed to be ruling over her. Okay, read that again from the top.
Verse 16. Genesis chapter 3, verse 16. To thy woman he said.
And to that woman I said, hold on. The woman is Eve, all right? Because of what? Because they partake in the customs of the other nations, all right? So this is the punishment that is coming down. Continue reading.
And to the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception.
I will greatly multiply that sorrow and thy conception. This is talking about the conception and the giving of birth. Continue.
In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children.
You see, so that's the pain of the childbirth. Okay, this is why they have the pain of childbirth. Continue.
And thy desire shall be unto thy husband.
And the desire shall be unto your husband. You love your husband. You know, you want to care for him. You want to do things for him. But the problem is you want to do that and have the rulership and have the say and make all the decisions and get your way. But what does it say? Continue.
And he shall rule over thee.
But he shall rule over thee. He shall be the head. He shall be running the household. He shall be making the decisions. Okay? That's where we are lost as so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians, because we live in a real matriarch system, okay, to where our mothers or our grandmothers rule everything. You move all over the earth, dragging kids away from their father, and you have absolutely you don't feel like you're wrong for it. Because of what? Because women rule over the men. Women have all the power. Okay? They can do whatever they want. Whatever in their mind is right, it's right. No matter what it is. And that's why everything is out of place. And that was our oppressors' agenda. And it worked. It worked when they came in and told our women that, oh, you don't need a man. But you know what they did? They went right home to their man. After making sure you left Tyrone and Jimmy and Reggie, you know what they did? They went home to Steven. You know? They went home to him. They went home to Tyler. They're going right home to their man. While you going home to a empty house and some batteries. Okay? Let me get 1 Timothy 2:11. Whoever got it can read it. Go ahead, Trooper. You go ahead and get
Come
it.
on, come on, come. This is the book of First Timothy, chapter 2. It's chapter 2, verse 11. Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection.
Let the woman learn in silence with all subjection. Like women, your submissiveness, that is so attractive to us. That is how you could control, and get your way. A woman can get anything she wants as long as she's just sweet. And when you learn it, you're supposed to learn and be subjective. You're supposed to be submissive, so it can sink in. So you can take it in. Okay. It's not to go in one area and out the other. It's not for you to forget when you're mad. It's for you to learn these, and then when you get flustered or when you get beside yourself, you can bring yourself back to the point where you're supposed to be. Our women have to learn in silence and all in subjection. You can't learn when you're just running your mouth. You can't learn when you're just listening to answer. Okay? You have to learn in silence with all subjection. Continue reading.
Come. Verse 12. But I suffer not a woman to teach.
But I suffered not a woman to teach. Then why the hell is there so many prophetesses? Right? Why is there Creflo and Taffy Dollar? Why did TD Jakes just hand his church over to his daughter? It says, but I suffer not a woman to teach. This is strictly talking about the Bible. All right? And I understand, sisters, you may know scriptures. You may have all the breakdowns because you pay attention to class. I understand that. But it's not for you to teach, okay? You want to teach this, tell your mama. Tell your girlfriend about it. Okay? But you are not going to stand in front or be all on here. You're not going to ever see a woman on this camera with ISUPK giving the breakdowns, leading and teaching. Because it says, but I suffer a woman not to teach. This is the New Testament. We're not reading any Old Testament. Okay, continue reading.
Come. Nor to usurp authority over the man, but to be in silence.
And see, that's what happens when your pastor is a woman. I mean, she's absorbing authority over the man. You know who else absorbs authority over the man? That lady in the front with the big hat. Oh, she gets her way, cause she gonna go up there and talk to pastor right after the service. Okay. Good night. They're not supposed to assert authority over. All right. Our women are supposed to be delicate, precious. All right. Not supposed to be out here doing the work of the Lord, going to war, battling. That is not their position. They are sweet. Our women are supposed to be cared for. All right. We're going right back to this. Give me 1 Corinthians 11:2. We're going right back to it. I know I pulled it earlier.
Come. It's the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 11, verse 2. Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances, like ordinances.
Yep. You tomorrow.
It's like as I delivered them to you.
It says, now I praise you, brethren, that you remember me in all things. I remember the apostles. I remember the men that walked with Christ. Okay? They were men. Because the pastor of my flock are men. It says, and keep the ordinances. We need to keep the ordinances, keep the order. Keep this order that was laid before us. Not just change it up, not just do what we want, not just make it what we want. We need to keep the order that was set forth before us. Okay? It says, as I deliver them to you. It means that you don't have to change it. And that's the greatest thing about Isupk. It ain't changed since 1969. It is the same. Okay? And the Most High, He doesn't change. So that order is not going to change. Continue reading.
Come on. As I deliver them to you. Verse 3. But I will have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is God.
You see, that is the order. He said to keep my ordinances, keep the ordinance, keep the order. The order is Yahweh, which is the Most High God. Yahweh Shai, which is Christ. The man, then the woman, then the children. Okay? There is order. We must keep this order, because without this order, we have chaos. And that's what you see in the so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian communities. Chaos. It is a free-for-all. Okay? It is a free-for-all, and women are out of control, and they actually think they can contend with you. They want to contend with you. They want to fight you. They want to get out there and knuckle up with you, because they have been put in a position to where they believe they are above you. And that's why we are so lost as a people, because we are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. Because women run Christianity. You come up in the church seeing your mother and your grandmother run everything, make all the decisions. So when you get older and your spirit contends against this woman, deep down in your heart, you feel like she's right, because your whole life you have been seeing the women run every damn thing. Okay? But there's something in your spirit that makes you fight that. Even though you know your clothes are going to be out, even though you know your Jordans are getting bleached. Well, she's bleaching those Jordans out. Those Jordans are going to be bleached. Your pants are going to be bleached. She's cutting holes in your shirts. Okay? And that's because we don't follow the order. We don't know that the order, that the head of the woman is man. Because in our community, our nation is taught that the head of the man is everybody. Everybody's a head of the black man, especially our women. That's why those blackity blacks, they always try to say, "Oh, you're gonna go against your mama, your grandma," because that's all we know. It's being ran by the women. Okay. Let me Colossians. Yagana, you can pull this Colossians 2:8.
Con. Book of Colossians, chapter 2 and verse 8. Beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit.
It says, beware, lest any man spoil you through philosophy and vain deceit. You see, Christianity has been spoiling us through philosophy, through the philosophy of all the different denominations, different beliefs, different ways. But those ways are vain. They are nothing. It is vain deceit. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indian, we are spoiled through this philosophy and vain deceit of Christianity. We are spoiled through the philosophy and the vain deceit of Catholicism. We are spoiled through philosophy and the vain deceit of Islam. We are spoiled through the philosophy and vain deceit of chematology, of Buddhism, okay, of gangbanging. Where do you think them colors come from? Your oppressor. They got the red and the blue, right? They got what? They got the left wing and the right wing. They got the Democrats and the Republicans. Okay, and you got the Crips and the Bloods. This is vain. This is vain philosophy. Okay, your oppressor has really did a number on us so-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, to where we are so spoiled through philosophy and vain deceit. Who do we follow? We follow rappers and entertainers and athletes. We follow their ways. We are spoiled through the philosophies of this world. The philosophies of this world, they are a vain deceit. You better get the philosophy of Yahawashai. Continue reading.
After the traditions of men.
After what?
After the tradition of men.
After the tradition of men. We love the traditions of men. What are some of the traditions of men? Go ahead.
Would it be holidays out of one?
Damn right. Christmas. That's a tradition of men. But you think it's a tradition of old jolly Saint Nick. Not knowing that's an ancient Babylonian custom that you can read about in the book of Jeremiah. Thanksgiving. Okay. What else? Valentine's Day. New Year's Eve. You see, we love to follow these traditions of men. Continue.
After the rudiments of the world.
Uh-huh.
And not after Christ.
You see, we follow after the world and not after Christ. We don't want to follow Christ. All right? That's too hard. But it's easy to follow after this world. It's easy, okay? It's easy just to go support the LGBTQ community. Okay? It's easy to eat that shrimp, crab, pork, and lobster because they tell you pork is what? Pork is the other white meat. Shrimp, crab, and lobster, that's a delicacy. All they got to do to make a so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian believe that it's something good is just raise the price tag on it. All right? Nobody is running out to eat a roach right now. But everybody is running out to get some shrimp, right? Everybody loves shrimp. Why ain't those same people just going and eating the roaches that's crawling on their damn kitchen cabinet? They don't want those, not knowing that they come from the same family. You can just look this up, all right? But your oppressor told you that a shrimp is a delicacy. When it comes from the same exact family, it's a roach. This can be looking up. It's already been proven through science. And the Most High been told you not to eat it. So you might just want to follow the Bible. You might just want to go to the source that has all the answers. Okay? And stop following the rudiments of the world and not after Christ. Not after Yahawashai Mashiach. Okay, continue reading.
Verse 9.
Or actually drop down to 20, Salakia.
Verse 20. So in Colossians chapter 2, verse 20. Wherefore, if ye be dead with Christ from the rudiments of the world, why, as though living in the world, are ye subject to ordinances
All right, so to this world, Christ is dead to this world, meaning the way he act, the way he lived, because he lived how he lived how the Most High want him to. So it says, "Wherefore, if you be dead with Christ from the rudiments of this world," meaning the things of this world, they don't apply to you. Christmas, it doesn't apply to you, all right, because you're dead with Christ from the rudiments of this world. So you don't celebrate Christmas. You dead with Christ from the rudiments of celebrating, yeah, Thanksgiving, New Year's, your birthday, okay, celebrating a Pride Month, okay. If you're dead from them, why though, as living in the world, you subject to these ordinances? So if you supposed to be dead with Christ, if you're supposed to be with the Lord, why is there a Christmas tree in your house? Why is there a Christmas ham? Why is there a Thanksgiving turkey? Why is there black eyed peas for New Year's? Why are you getting all the women that you know a bear and some chocolates on Valentine's? Okay, if you are not a part of this world, why are you subjected? Why would you subject yourself? Why are you subjected to ordinances? Okay, you in the truth. Your wife wants to celebrate Christmas. Okay, she just can't do it here in your house. No, you're not bringing no tree in here. We're not decorating it with Christmas presents. Okay, so we got to understand if we are dead with Christ from the rudiments of the world, why, as though living in this world, are ye subject to ordinances? We have to shed the order of our oppressor and pick up the order of the Most High and be dead to this world as Christ was dead to this world. That's why we have to pick up our cross. Okay, continue reading.
Verse 21. Touch not, taste not, handle not.
We supposed to touch not, taste not, handle not. We're supposed to not touch the unclean things. We don't have to touch Christianity. We don't have to taste it. We don't have to handle it. We don't have to hold it. We don't have to touch gang banging. We don't have to taste it. We don't have to handle it. Okay? All these things that are against the Most High, loving your oppressor and hating your brother. You don't have to touch that. You don't have to do that. You don't have to live that way. Okay? Just read that again.
Verse second, the book of Second Colossians, chapter 2.
No, it's not no second Colossians. It's just Colossians.
Colossians 2, verse 21.
Mm-hmm.
Touch not.
Yep.
Taste not. Handle not.
Have no doing with your oppressor's ways. Have no doing with the ways of the world. Have no doing with the things that are against the Most High. Continue reading.
Verse 22. Which all are to perish with the using.
No, live long lives.
Perish with the using.
Live a strong life.
To perish with the using.
It's to perish with the using. That don't mean you're just going to be laying in a casket right now. There's other ways to perish. You could perish in poverty, right? You could never have enough to make it. You could struggle forever. You could be addicted to drugs. Well, that's perishing with the using, right? You just be addicted to drugs and have a drug-infested life and a horrible life and be tormented. Okay? You could perish by committing crimes all the time and going to jail. You could perish by the thought of God loves everybody through Christianity, and God loves everybody. So you're always putting yourself in what? In a position to to where your enemies have complete access to. Okay? That's why it says to touch not, taste not, handle not. Do not take on the ways of your oppressor. Because if you do, you will perish with the using. That's what Adam and Eve did, right? They perished with the using. Because they tasted, they touched, and they handled. Well, they handled the lifestyle of these other nations. They wanted to partake in it. Okay, continue reading.
Con out on con. After the commandments and doctrines of men.
See, that's what makes us perish. Because I learned from the doctrine of men is that I'm supposed to be a pistol toting maniac, right? I learned from the doctrine of men that I'm supposed to be high as a kite all the time. I learned from the doctrine of men that I'm supposed to get my way every second of the day, like a damn baby. Okay? I learned from the doctrine of men that I can do whatever I want, and Christ will forgive me. I just do the same thing over and over and over. Read that one more time from the top.
Verse 22. Which all are to perish with the using after the commandments of doctrines of men.
See, that's what we do. We perishing. We perishing because of that. All right? Because we want to follow the doctrines of men and not the doctrine of the Most High. And that's the problem. Let me get Proverbs 1 and 20.
Book of Proverbs, chapter 1 and verse 20. Mm-hmm. Wisdom cried without. She uttereth her voice in the streets.
Wisdom cried without. She uttered her voice in the street. The Lord's word is being pushed through the street. That's the wisdom. The wisdom is that Bible. Okay? Every weekend, every Friday and Saturday, people are getting the breakdowns. They're getting breakdowns I didn't get a chance to hear in those streets. Because that wisdom is out there crying out. It is uttering her voice through the streets. We are at camp every week doing that. Letting wisdom cry out. Uttering the voice through the streets. All right? Continue reading.
Con out on con. In verse 21. She cried in the chief place of concourse.
It says she cried in the chief place of concourse. We are right there in downtown Austin, blazing. Okay, continue reading.
In the openings of the gates.
Mm-hmm.
In the city, she uttereth her words, saying.
See, Bible is uttering the words it's saying. That wisdom is crying out, saying. Okay? Saying things, saying so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians come together under one accord. Saying to get off of drugs. Saying to get out of gangs. Saying to get out the militaries. Saying to get out of Christianity. Saying to get out their police forces. Saying to get off their drugs. Continue reading.
Verse 22. How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity?
How long will you simple ones love simplicity? How long will you simple ones love to keep being made unalive in these streets? How long will you simple ones love being destroyed? Love sitting in a jail cell. All right? Love being addicted to hard narcotics. Okay? Love sleeping in the street under a damn bridge. Love hurting your brother and sister. Along with you simple ones, love simplicity. Continue.
And the scorners delight in the scorning.
And how long will you scorners delight in your scorners? Your scorning. Walking by, laughing, scorning, making sly remarks. And you scorners delight in your scorning. How long? Continue.
And fools hate knowledge.
And fools hate knowledge. Fools hate the Israelite school of universal practical knowledge. Fools hate knowledge. They don't want to learn or know any damn thing. Okay? So, we got to understand that we're not, here in the Israelite school of UPK, we're not going to be a simple one. We're not going to be a scorner. We're not going to be a fool that hate knowledge. All right? That's what we got to learn and understand so we can have complete understanding. Trooper, give me Mark 7 and 6. And y'all get out anytime you got something to say, you just raise your hand and chime in at any time.
Coming out on come.
When you got a trooper, you go ahead and read it loud and proud.
Come on, Khan. That's the book of Mark, chapter 7, verse 6. He answered and said unto them, well, hath Esaias prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, this people honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me.
All right, so this is talking about Isaiah. All right, it says he answered and said to them, has Esaias. That is the translation for Isaiah. So has Esaias, who is Isaiah, prophesied of you hypocrites, as it is written, this people honor me with their lips, but their heart is far from me. That sounds like the perfect Christian to me, because the Christians honor Jesus. Oh, with their lips, with them lips, they honor Jesus. But their heart is far from them. Why? Because they hate their brothers and sisters. Christians hate people. Christians hate so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Absolutely cannot stand them. Okay? Continue reading.
Come.
Continue reading.
Verse 7. Howbeit in vain do they worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
That's what they do. They teach the doctrine and the commandments of men. That's why Christianity, that's why they have those different denominations. Creflo Dollar, he's going to teach something different than T.D. Jakes. He's going to teach something different than Geno Jennings. But it's all the doctrine of men, the commandments of men. It says, howbeit in vain they do worship me. In vain, in vanity, in nothing they worship me. Teaching for the doctrines of men. The doctrine of men bring money. That's what your Christian pastor is about. That's what your bishop is about. That money. Continue.
Come. It's like verse 8. For laying aside the commandment of God, ye hold the tradition of men.
Yep. Hold on. For laying aside the commandment of God, ye hold the traditions of men. All right. How did they lay aside the commandments of God? Because they said that the law is done away with. Y'all get on real quick. Give me 1 John 3 and 4, and then we'll come back to this.
Come. Look at 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4.
Mm-hmm.
Whatsoever committed sin transgresseth also the law, for sin is a transgression of the law.
You see, This is how Christians. Uh, 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 this is how Christians lay aside the commandments of God because they say that the laws are done away with. But it says right here, whosoever committeth sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is a transgression of the law. So if there is no law, there is no sin. So why does Christians want to call everybody a damn sinner when it tells you what sin is right here in the New Testament in First John? Okay, chapter 3, verse 4. Now let's go back to Mark, 7th chapter. You can start at 8 from the top again, Trooper.
Con. Verse 8. For laying aside the commandment of God, ye hold the tradition of men, as the washing of pots and cups.
All right, it says, for laying aside the commandments of God, you hold the traditions of men as the washing of pots and cups. Like, just as you wash your dishes, just as something as that simple as that's how you hold these traditions. Oh, you hold Christianity like you brush your teeth in the morning, like you put a belt on your pants, like you tie your shoelaces. That's how you hold these traditions of men. Meaning what? Meaning it's natural to you. Oh, it comes natural. It's very easy. It's very simple. It's nothing for you. It's just your way. It's just a way of life that you live. Continue reading.
Con. And many other such like things ye do.
Mm-hmm.
Verse 9. And he said unto them, full well ye reject the commandment of God, that ye may keep your own tradition.
Says, and he said unto them, full well ye reject the commandment of God, that you may keep your own tradition. See, we need to start keeping the traditions of the Most High. Here in the UPK, we keep the traditions of the Most High. That's why we keep the feast days. That's why we keep the laws, the statutes, the commandments. It is necessary. Yaganah, give me Isaiah. Because like it said it said like Isaiah said, which is Isaiah. We're gonna go to Isaiah 29 and 13. Let's see where Isaiah said this. Because that's the problem. That's why we need to have precept upon precept, line upon line, here a little, there a little, because it said that Isaiah said this. Now we're going to go back and get where Isaiah said this. Go ahead, Yaganah, Officer Yaganah.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 29, verse 13. Wherefore the Lord said, for as much as this people draw near me with their mouth,
mm-hmm.
and with their lips do honor me,
yep.
but have removed their heart far from me,
mm-hmm.
and their fear toward me is taught by the precept of men.
So we following men. We're not following the ways of the Lord. We honor him with our mouth and with our lips. But the heart is just so far removed. Continue reading.
Chapter Book of Isaiah, chapter 29 and verse 14. Therefore, behold, I will proceed to do a marvelous work among this people, even a marvelous work and a wonder. For the wisdom of their wise men shall perish,
mm-hmm.
and the understanding of their prudent man shall be hid.
And that's why we are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. We don't have any understanding because the wisdom of our wise men, it perished. It is no longer there. The understanding of our prudent man, it's hidden. Our knowledge is hidden. Look at our generals. That's hidden. That knowledge is hidden. Okay? You can't just find this everywhere. All right. This is not just everywhere. You had to find this. You had to be called to this. It's a struggle to be here, to get in here, to do this. It's not easy because the wisdom of the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians has been stripped from us. And when you look at the whole totality, this is a small few who actually know. Because we are destroyed for a lack of knowledge because we are under Christianity and women run Christianity. Okay? Give me Matthew 15 and 7. Read it when you got it. Anybody.
Con. It's the book of Matthew, chapter 15, verse 7.
Mm-hmm.
Ye hypocrites, well did Isaiah prophesy of you, saying.
So this is Isaiah. This is them referencing Isaiah again, saying, "Ye hypocrites." Well, did Isaiah prophesied of you, saying, continue.
Con. Verse 8. This people draw nigh unto me with their mouth.
These
Honor.
people draw nigh unto me with their mouth. Nigh means near. Right? That's what we try to do. So-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, we try to draw near the Lord with our mouth. Oh Lord, if you do this, I'll never do this. Oh Lord, oh I love the Lord. Oh this, oh that, oh that, oh this. Oh, we good with the mouth and the wordplay. We honor him with our lips. Continue.
Con. And honoreth me with their lips, but their heart is far from me.
Our heart is far from the Most High. What is our heart on? Trooper, what is our heart on?
The things in the world.
The things of the world, but what? Our own what?
Our own I'm not sure.
Go ahead, Yaga 9.
I would say on our own desires.
All right, but give me the word for that. Give me the correct word for desire. Is our own what?
Will.
What?
Will.
Not our own will, our own lust.
Lust. Yes, of the flesh.
Absolutely, our lust. Because we serve our flesh. Okay? That's where our heart is. It's life. Our heart is on serving our flesh. Okay? That's where our heart is. Our heart is on serving our flesh. And that's why we honor with our lips, but not with our actions. Okay? Continue.
Con. Verse 9. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men.
But in nothing we do worship him. Teaching the doctrines of men, teaching that the law, statutes, and commandments are done away with. Having a crawfish boil, having a catfish fry, at the church, selling pork chop plates, eating pork chops and all that. It's like we worship the Lord in vain when we should be worshiping him in spirit and in truth. Okay? Give me Galatians 4 and 8. Whoever got it can read it.
So like this here. 4 and 8.
Khan.
Come. This is the book of Galatians, chapter 4, verse 8.
Mm-hmm.
Howbeit then, when ye knew not God, ye did service unto them which by nature are no gods.
All right. So when you didn't know the Most High, you do service to them who by nature they are not the Most High. Okay. You serve their lifestyle, you serve their ways, their holidays, their traditions. Continue reading.
Come. So like verse 9. But now, after that ye have known God, or rather are known of God,
It says,
how
but now, hold on, but now after ye have known God, or rather are known of God. Okay, continue.
how turn ye against the weak are in beggarly elements,
Uh-huh.
whereunto ye desire again to be in bondage.
Meaning, all right, now that you know the Most High, why do you turn back to celebrating Christmas, your birthday, Thanksgiving, cocaine, gang violence, sleeping with every woman, loving people outside of your nation? Why do you return to those beggarly elements? Because that's what those are. Continue reading.
Come. Whereunto ye desire again to be in bondage. Verse 10. Ye observe days and months and times and years.
Ye observe days and months and times and years. What does that mean?
You look at the calendar to see whenever a holiday coming.
Damn right. Oh, you know when Christmas is. All right. You know when Thanksgiving is, and that's a different. What's that? The last Thursday of the month or whatever. You know when these days are. You know when New Year's is. You know when these is. Do you know when the Feast of Purim is? Do you know when the Feast of First Fruits is? Do you know when the memorial blowing of the trumpet is? Do you know when the Passover is? No. But you know Christmas. You know New Year's. You know Valentine's Day. You know all these days. Because you observe days and months and times and years. You observe your oppressor. What your oppressor says goes. And if your people tell you, like what? We tell somebody about what? The Passover, they're going to question it, right? Oh, you going to the Pass? You're going way out there? You had to go way out there to North Carolina? But they'll go to North Carolina for Christmas, for Thanksgiving, because they observe days, times, months, and years. Give me Romans 1 and 25.
Okay. You go ahead, read it.
Go ahead.
It's the book of Romans, chapter 1, verse 25. Who
Mm-hmm.
changed the truth of God into a lie?
Who changed the truth of God into a lie? Your oppressor. When he taught you that the law, statutes, and commandments are done away. When he taught you that God loves everybody. When he taught you that you were equal, even though he wouldn't even make you a full man. Okay, continue.
Okay. And worship and serve the creature more than the creator.
And worship and serve the creature more than the creator. That's what we do. We serve the creatures. Even the sun. Oh, all you blackity blacks want to look at this. Oh, that's Amun Ra. Well, how the hell was the sun made? There's two kind of people that look up at the stars. One that look up at the stars and sun and moon and worship it. The others that look up at the sun and stars and moon and worship who created it. Continue reading.
Khan. Who is blessed forever.
Who is
Amen.
blessed forever. So be it. Okay. Yahweh, the Most High Power, He is blessed forever. We need to stop serving these creatures. We want to serve the creature. We want to serve that cross. We want to serve that cobblestone. We want to serve that blue and red rag. That black and yellow rag. Well, I'm telling you, if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, and Native Indian, come serve Christ. Come serve Yahweh. Worship the Creator more than the creation. Okay? Where I'm at.
26.
Give me, I'm going to go to Deuteronomy 14. 14 and 2. Go ahead.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 14, verse 2. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
For thou is a holy people unto the Lord thy God. Holy meaning separate. That's what the word holy means. So-called Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, you are a holy people unto the Lord thy God. You see, Christianity makes you believe that you are equal to everybody. And that you could eat everything that you pray on, because when Peter was talking about he has never eaten anything unclean, that was talking about men. That was talking about men that were Israelites, okay, who were considered outside of the fold. All right, and he didn't want to bring them back in. So that's what that was talking about. But a Christian to have you believe that everybody's the same, that you can eat whatever you want, and you don't have to be separate. You don't have to be different. Continue reading.
Khan. And the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people. So like
The Lord has chosen thee to be a peculiar people. And to Himself, not unto everybody. Let's see where you're supposed to be amongst all the nations in the world. Continue.
So like to be a peculiar people unto himself above all the nations that are upon the earth.
No,
Verse 3.
below.
Upon the earth.
No, next to.
Upon the earth.
He says above all the nations that are upon the earth. That's where you're supposed to be if you're a so-called Black, Hispanic, or Native Indian. There is no equality. Okay? We got to understand that. Give me John 17 and 14. Go ahead and read.
Come. It's the book of John, chapter 17, verse 14. I have given them thy word, and the world hath hated them, because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world.
That's UPK right there. I have given them thy word. The world has hated them because they are not of the world, even as I am not of the world. We are not for the LGBTQ. We are not for the pasta pork chop. We are not for your shrimp, crab, and lobster. We are not for anything that is of this world. Because everything of this world is of our oppressor. Yaganan, you give me 1 John 2 and 15.
Book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 15. Love not the world, neither the things that are in the world. If any man love the world, the love of the Father is not in him.
If you love the world, you are not of Christ, because Christ is not of this world. Okay? The Father is not of this world. All right? We got to understand that. Drop down to 3. This is how you know. This is how you know if you're of Christ and not of this world. Read.
Book of 1 John chapter 2 and verse 3. And hereby we do know that we know him if we keep his commandments.
Mm-hmm. That's how we know him. We know him if we keep his commandments. You know, all the Christians want to say that they know the Lord. They know Christ, that Christ knows their heart. Yeah, Christ knows your heart. And he knows that your heart is far from the Lord and that you are a wicked bastard. So that hereby we do know him if we keep his commandments. That's the only way to know God. That's the New Testament. Is this New Testament y'all get on?
I don't want to come.
They don't say the law, statutes, and commandments are done away with right here, right? It says hereby we do know him if we keep his commandments. If you are not keeping his commandments, then you do not know him. All right, continue reading.
Verse 4. Hear that he that saith, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments.
Hold on. Christians, listen closely. This is a cut to Christianity. They don't follow no laws, no statutes, or no commandments, but they say that they have a personal relationship with you. Yagana, a Christian could call Jesus right now. They got his number. You know, they say Jesus is on the main line. Tell him what you want. Christians say they have a personal relationship. I don't have no damn personal relationship with Christ. And I'm in the truth. The Christians say they got a personal relationship, meaning Christ accepts everything they do. Because that's what that means when they say they have a personal relationship. What are they usually doing when they say that? They're usually doing some kind of abominable, wicked thing that is against Christ, right? When they say, I have a person, I'm going to smoke this crack, but I have a personal relationship. I'm going to sleep with this word, but I have a personal relationship. I'm going to sell these 10 kilos, but I have a personal relationship. Okay? You don't have no personal relationship because you don't even keep the commandments. Continue. Go ahead and read that from the top.
Verse 3.
Verse 4.
Verse 4. Salakia. He that said, I know him, and keepeth not his commandments, is a liar, and the truth is not in him.
All Christians, if you don't keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, then you're liars. And the truth is not in you. So quit thinking Christ is at your church. That church that's about to have a catfish, crawfish, pork chop, shrimp, crab, lobster broil. The Lord is not with you. Give me 2 Corinthians 6 and 17, I believe. Let me get there and see. Better read it. It'll switch whenever it switches. Salaki. Go ahead, Trooper. Unmute your mic.
Can you hear me, sir?
Khan, you got a warrior.
Con. It's the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 17. Wherefore come out from among them and
Wherefore
be
come out from among them. Come out from among the heathen. Come out from amongst these other nations' ways, their philosophies, their doctrines of men. Continue.
ye separate,
And be
said the
ye
Lord,
separate. Hold on. Be ye separate. Be ye holy. Thus says the Most High. Continue.
and touch not the unclean thing, and I will receive you.
Ooh-wee. Good night. Continue reading.
Con. Verse 18. And will be a father unto you, and ye shall be my sons and daughters, said said the Lord Almighty.
That's how you be sons and daughters. You come from among these other nations, and you do what the hell you are told. It's that simple. Give me Proverbs 3 and 31.
Okay.
Because this is what we do as so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, and that we never have to do. We never have to do this. Okay. Go ahead and read.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 31. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways.
Don't envy your oppressor. All right, because he's doing all kind of wickedness on this earth, and he's ruling the earth, and he's giving you some crumbs, and you see him in this rulership and doing what he wants and being as wicked as he wants. Don't envy that. Leave that alone. Okay, envy not thy oppressor. Continue.
Come. Verse 32. For the
Oh, slack it. Hold on. No, I don't need that. And choose none of his ways. Don't be like him. Don't take on his spirit so you can get the gains in the ill wills of this earth. Give me 23 and 17. Proverbs. Proverbs 23 and 17. And we're gonna get out of here after this.
it's the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 17. Let not thine heart envy sinners.
Let not thy heart envy sinners. All right, just because that man got a gold chain because he sells drugs, just because he's doing scams, okay, and he has a nice car, just because he's doing all this wickedness to get his gains, you don't have to. Don't envy the heart of a sinner. Continue.
But be thou in fear of the Lord all the day long.
You be thou in the fear of the Lord all the day long, because that's what really matters. That's what can destroy you. It's the Most High. You got the security announcements, Yaganan?
Come.
Most High in Christ.
ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK. Started out at 1 West, 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rules for a new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves of the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. 5, which is a commandment. Book of Numbers chapter 18 and verse 21. Book of Malachi chapter 3 verse 8 through 10. Means 10th in the Hebrew, Ma'ashara. 10% of any penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the treasury department or teacher. Priest fund. Free will offering for priests, not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocations, out of one.
Upcoming holy convocations of memorial of blowing of the trumpet. It's the first day of the 7th month, Friday, the 15th of September, 2023. We can find us in the book of Leviticus, chapter 23, verses 24 and 25.
Come. If anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black, boots, shirt, pants, headband, scarf.
All right, we're going to Imagine with me stand. We're going to get the Lord's Prayer in the Hebrew. All right. All right, Abanau, Shabbat Shemayim, Kodash, Ayah, Shakah, Yahweh, Malakwaka, Abaya, Atazayaka, Hayah, Aisha, Barataza, Kawa, Hayah, Bashamayim, Nathan Ladawa, Lakam, Call, Yawam, Wasalakia now, Kabawatia now, Kasalakia now, Kabawatia now, Wala'a, Tabayanawa, Banasai one, Abo, Awashanawa, Mayan, Ra, Kaya, Baka, Kamalakwa, Wahala, Wahatapa Rath, Lawalayum, Amen. In the English, our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, Yahweh. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, in earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory, forever so be it. All right, men of Israel, we're going to give a courtesy salute to the teacher, men of Israel. Imagine, Barak,
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah.
Yahweh Shem Yahshua Barakatah. All right, we're going to Yajamatah, we're going to Sar, we're going to turn face to sisters rise. Men of Israel, Imagine Shabbat, Imagine, Barak,
Yahweh Shema Elatah Basem Yahshua.
Yajamatah, class dismissed. That's right. Everything's a while with you, trooper?
Con, sir.
You didn't have to work today or no?
Law, sir.
Do I got your schedule for this week or no?
Law, sir. I'm sending it to you right now.
All right, Most High in Christ. I sure appreciate it. Hell yeah. I think I'm going to go to Subway tomorrow and get me a, what's that sauce you be talking about?
That Chipotle sauce.
Slack it. Let me end this.